Last year, in a Supreme Court case known as Endrew F. versus Douglas County School District, the parents of a student with autism and ADHD challenged the idea. Not a thought, but the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, which states that kids with disabilities have the right to a free and appropriate public education, or FAPE. FAPE states that students can receive special education and related services through an IEP, but IDEA does not touch on what appropriate means, nor does it really explain the level of benefit that the services must provide should be. This is the first time since 1982 that a FAPE related case has gone to the Supreme Court. Last time, it was a case called Rowley, and that case was given a decision that was equivalent to kids have the right to a serviceable Chevrolet, but not a Cadillac, because the IEP only has to be reasonably calculated to enable the child to receive educational benefits rather than to be the best or most that's available. But the Endrew F. case brought forth some interesting information. The child, Drew, only made minimal progress in the 5 years that he was enrolled in Douglas County School. His parents transferred him to a private school in 5th grade, where he began to make a lot more progress, faster, obviously. So Drew's parents say that he was denied FAPE because he only got a minor benefit from his IEP, and he had the right to something more meaningful, an equal opportunity to succeed in school like any other child. The school district argued that Drew made some small progress on a few of his goals, and according to the law, that means Drew got enough of a benefit from his IEP. Over the years, many people have said that there should be a more specific standard for FAPE because the standard of some benefit from an IEP is really just too low. These include the amendment Congress made to IDEA in 1997 regarding measurable goals and how progress should be measured. The No Child Left Behind Act that made states develop more challenging academic standards in 2001. It actually became, it was meant for students with disabilities too, but that was in 2004. So that did take 3 years to really carry over, but it still applied. And then in 2016, the U.S. Department of Education statement that the right to FAPE means that an IEP must be designed to help a student make progress in the general education curriculum. Schools, they're really worried that raising the standards of what an IEP must provide will also raise costs, and that school budgets are already stretched for states who actually bear most of the cost of special education and not the federal government. Unfortunately, that's true. And now the U.S. administration today wants to rescind $15.4 billion that Congress had already approved. Sadly, this money really could help with the special education costs that the districts worry about if it was distributed correctly, but now that's even in jeopardy. The administration also wants to postpone the compliance of significant disproportionality regulations by 2 years for school-age students and would push back early intervention age students until the summer of 2022. Thinking about that, that's 4 years away. The CEC, or Council for Exceptional Children, urges against both the funding cuts and the postponement of addressing significant disproportionality because of reasons such as not being able to provide an FAPE if significant budget cuts are made, because they may not have the staff or resources at that point available if those cuts are made. And then ensuring children with disabilities cannot be denied identification, placement, or good education based on race or ethnicity. Why would you want to deny that any longer? But just to conclude this video, I wanted to mention that I looked into the Endrew F. case a little further and found out that the family actually won. The Supreme Court ruled that Drew's educational program must be appropriately ambitious in light of his circumstances, and that every child should have the chance to meet challenging objectives. All right, thanks. Have a great weekend.